The Indiana Fever just lost another player for the season, and this time, the lies are impossible to ignore. Chloe Bibby, the sharpshooter who was supposed to be the missing piece alongside Caitlin Clark, is done.
Sometimes sometimes it feels like this franchise is just completely clueless and lost.
Out for the remainder of the season with a knee injury that supposedly came out of nowhere. But here's what they don't want you to know. This was entirely preventable, and the fingerprints of organizational incompetence are all over this disaster.
Coach is awful. We see exactly what she and Cox are up to.
The same management that has systematically destroyed every injury situation this season just claimed another victim, and their web of contradictions is finally unraveling in real time. Just days ago, head coach Stephanie White stood in front of cameras and delivered what can only be described as a masterclass in deception. When asked about Bibby's status after she was mysteriously pulled from the lineup, White's response was as calculated as it was dishonest.
Not so much a setback, it's just, I think with all the travel and everything else, it just swelled up and swelled up so much that it's caused some issues, and so she won't be available.
But let's break down what just happened here. White literally defined a setback while claiming there wasn't one. Swelling from travel that prevents a player from being available, that's the textbook definition of a medical setback. This isn't coaching strategy or gamesmanship. This is deliberate misinformation being fed to fans who deserve better. The audacity to stand there and redefine basic medical terminology while a player's career hangs in the balance reveals everything you need to know about this organization's relationship with the truth.
You're kidding, right? Nah, that's unacceptable.
The timeline exposes the lie even further. Bibby went from day-to-day to active roster to DNP to season ending in a matter of weeks. She was practicing, then playing, then warming up, then suddenly disappearing from the team entirely. This isn't bad luck or unfortunate circumstances. This is systematic mismanagement of player health that has become the Indiana Fever's calling card.
Chloe Bibby was listed as day-to-day 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, she was day-to-day. And then all of a sudden, she goes from day-to-day to she's back playing. She was day-to-day, she was in practice, and then suddenly she's back playing. She's back on the roster for a game. They didn't play her. They gave her a DNP, but she was on the roster. She warmed up. And then she's suddenly off the roster.
What we're witnessing in Indiana isn't just bad luck. It's organizational malpractice on a scale that should terrify every WNBA fan. The Fever's medical and training staff have presided over the most catastrophic injury management in recent memory, turning what should have been a championship-caliber season into a hospital ward. Chloe Bibby is just the latest casualty in a pattern of negligence that has systematically destroyed careers and shattered dreams. When you have coaches rupturing Achilles tendons and star players disappearing for months with mysterious ailments, you're not dealing with coincidence, you're dealing with systemic failure at the highest levels.
If the Indiana Fever's strength and conditioning and medical staff is getting paid anything more than about $1.25 an hour, it's too damn much.
The numbers don't lie, and neither do the fans who've watched this organization fumble every single injury situation this season. The anger is palpable, and it's completely justified when you consider the talent that's been wasted through sheer incompetence.
We have seen injury after injury after injury.
This isn't hyperbole. This is the reality of an organization that has failed at the most basic level of professional sports, keeping players healthy and on the court. The medical staff that was supposed to protect these athletes has instead become their biggest liability. Every day that passes without accountability is another day that careers hang in the balance under the watch of people who have proven they cannot handle the responsibility.
This practice isn't just disappointing, it's deceptive.
But the real tragedy isn't just the injuries themselves. It's the deliberate obfuscation that follows every single incident. Fans are being gaslit by an organization that treats transparency like a dirty word, and the pattern is becoming impossible to ignore. When basic medical terminology gets redefined in press conferences, you know the cover-up has reached desperate levels.
You don't have to be a doctor to know when something's wrong. Like, if you followed sports long enough, you know when something is seriously, seriously wrong.
The comparison is stark and damning. In the NBA, when Kevin Durant's injury situation was mishandled, it became a league-wide scandal. Here in Indiana, mismanagement has become standard operating procedure, and somehow we're supposed to accept it as normal. The double standards are staggering, and the consequences are destroying one of the most promising seasons in franchise history. What makes this even more infuriating is the timing. Just as the Fever are breaking ground on their new $78 million performance center, they're simultaneously proving they don't have the competence to utilize the facilities they already have. Pretty buildings and state-of-the-art equipment mean nothing when the people running the show can't tell the difference between day-to-day and season-ending injuries. The elephant in the room isn't just Chloe Bibby's destroyed season, it's what this pattern tells us about Caitlin Clark's mysterious disappearance. For 7 weeks, the face of women's basketball has been sidelined with what they're calling a pulled muscle, but the timeline doesn't add up. The explanations keep changing, and the organization's credibility is in freefall. When the same coaching staff that just lied about Bibby's non-setback is managing Clark's injury, every statement becomes suspect. The star who single-handedly transformed the WNBA's popularity is being handled by people who have proven they cannot tell the truth about basic medical situations, and the implications are terrifying for the league's biggest draw. The warning signs have been flashing red for weeks, but fans are being told to ignore their own eyes and trust an organization that has systematically destroyed every injury situation this season. The gaslighting has reached absurd levels when simple observation is treated as conspiracy theory. The pattern is undeniable when you connect the dots. Clark's injury timeline has been deliberately vague from day one, with the organization hiding behind medical privacy while offering contradictory updates that make no sense. A pulled muscle that keeps the league's biggest star out for nearly 2 months raises questions that demand answers, especially when the same medical staff is simultaneously botching every other injury situation in real time. Behind closed doors, the whispers are getting louder about what's really happening with Clark's situation. Industry insiders are starting to question whether the public narrative matches the private reality, and the Fever's track record suggests those concerns are completely justified. Clark's value to the WNBA transcends any single team or season. She represents the future of women's professional basketball. When her health is being managed by an organization that has proven incompetent at every level, it becomes a league-wide crisis that extends far beyond Indiana. The same people who just destroyed Bibby's season with lies and mismanagement are now controlling the timeline for the sport's biggest asset. What makes this situation even more suspicious is the organization's desperate attempt to control the narrative through public relations gymnastics. When they announced that Clark's recent ankle injury didn't change the timeline because there is no timeline, they essentially admitted they've been operating without any medical plan whatsoever. This isn't transparency, it's damage control from an organization that knows they've lost all credibility. The Indiana Fever's season of lies has finally reached its breaking point, and Chloe Bibby's destroyed career is just the beginning of the reckoning this organization deserves. What we've witnessed isn't just poor injury management, it's a systematic betrayal of trust that has turned one of the WNBA's most promising seasons into a cautionary tale about organizational incompetence. The same medical staff and coaching leadership that promised transparency has delivered nothing but contradictions, cover-ups, and career-ending negligence. When fans can no longer believe a single word coming from the organization about player health, the entire foundation of professional sports crumbles. The Fever haven't just failed Bibby, they've failed every player who trusted them with their livelihood and every fan who invested their hearts in this team. The frustration has reached a boiling point because the pattern is undeniable and the consequences are devastating. Fans aren't just angry about injuries, they're furious about being lied to repeatedly while watching careers destroyed in real time. The broader implications extend far beyond Indiana's playoff hopes or even this season's championship aspirations. When the organization handling the WNBA's biggest star has proven they cannot manage basic medical situations without lying about them, it becomes a crisis that threatens the entire league's credibility. The sport's unprecedented growth hangs in the balance, while incompetent leadership plays games with the health of irreplaceable talent. The math is simple and terrifying. Without accountability, this will happen again. More careers will be destroyed, more lies will be told, and more fans will lose faith in an organization that has forgotten its most basic responsibility, protecting the athletes who make everything possible. The $78 million performance center they're building is nothing more than lipstick on a pig when the people running the operation have proven they cannot handle the facilities they already have. Pretty buildings cannot fix systemic incompetence, and state-of-the-art equipment means nothing when the decision-makers have lost all credibility. The Fever are literally breaking ground on their future while simultaneously burying their present through sheer negligence. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about accountability in professional sports and whether organizations can destroy careers with impunity. Chloe Bibby deserves better, Caitlin Clark deserves better, and every fan who is invested in this team deserves the truth instead of carefully crafted lies. Until heads roll and real change happens, the Indiana Fever will remain a cautionary tale about what happens when incompetence meets accountability vacuum. The question isn't whether this organization can recover, it's whether they deserve the chance to try again with players' careers on the line.